Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have another You Don't Want to Know. Today we have chainsaws were originally invented for childbirth. Oh my god. Before the caesarean section was widespread, or oh sweet Jesus, anaesthetics, babies still had to find their way out of their mothers in emergencies. Even the really tricksy ones who looked at what was going on in the world at the time and decided, thanks, but no thanks. Wake me up when you've invented sanitation at the very least. Caesareans have been around for millennia, but in the 1700s weren't particularly satisfactory if you planned on starting motherhood by not being dead. Well into the mid-19th century, surgery involved so much cross-infection that Victorian episodes of House were ruined by every conclusion being the same. You got that dead guy's blood and accidentally put it in that guy, and then he fucking died. Surgeons operated while wearing coats, which had been stiffened by the blood of previous patients. Not the most reassuring thing when someone comes in to operate on you, and their manoeuvrability is clearly being compromised by the blood they evidently failed to keep on the inside bits of someone else. Amongst surgeons, doing something like washing the blood of the dead off your coat was seen as being a bit prissy. Where caesareans were successful, and records are sketchy, it was more likely to be out in the country, where operations took place with cleaner equipment and on tables that hadn't been used for other surgeries. Basically far away from maniacs who didn't think it was necessary to wash knives, even after their 1000th unsuccessful surgery on a gangrene patient. Instead, you'd be performed on by the kind of maniac who would give complex surgery a crack with a kitchen knife, because at least the table was clean. If you wanted to keep the mother alive, your options were somewhat limited. For a long time, doctors would increase the pelvic diameter by dividing the cartilaginous muscle connecting the left and right side of your pelvis. While the woman was still conscious, the surgeons would whittle away with a knife and then throw away the spare bits. They were a burger wrapper or an old battery or a third example of something that isn't a part of your actual crotch. Oh God! This procedure was somewhat deceptively called a symphysiotomy. I say deceptively because if someone tells you they're going to perform a symphysiotomy, you probably picture the baby being lured out with a lute rather than having your bone chipped away like a particularly busy waiter shaving down parmesan. Oh, I've got my legs crossed. This system was both extremely painful and, oh God, messy, but worse was to come. In the early 1780s, Dr. John Aitken and James Jeffrey put together a small chainsaw, powered by a hand crank, like you'd see in a fishing rod. Now, instead of a painful procedure where your surgeon would cut at you with a knife, you'd look and see the reassuring sight of a surgeon spinning his hand around and around like he was sharpening a pencil down there. This hand-crank nightmare tool was used throughout most of the 19th century. It wasn't until after numerous women had gone through this harrowing ordeal that people thought, this bad boy might be better suited to trees. The worst part is, surgeons using a rudimentary chainsaw on your vagina was actually a vast improvement on what had taken place before. When you feel low about how the world is at the moment, remember you could be living through a time where strapping you down and grinding away in your crotch with a hand-crank chainsaw was a step in the right direction. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers, patrons and members. See you next week. Bye bye.